What's happening, guys? This is James Blonde from MMOHut.com with a quick weekly recap for MMO news and announcements for the week ending January 13th, 2013. And as you can see from the video playing in the background, the first piece of news we're taking a look at this week has to do with Chrono Tales. And the news is, as of January 7th, Chrono Tales kicks off its second closed beta test, and with this, players can expect some new adjustments to the game that include a free flame steed mount for all players, a rise in the level cap to 60, and a brand new system that has been added. This new system will allow high-level players to work towards divine attribute points, and once obtained will transfer into additional character attribute points. The second closed beta test will also host an event called Treasure Plant, which is set to be available to players every 3 hours, and it seems to be pretty generous on its rewards towards higher level players. The test is scheduled to run another week or so. After that, all the player data for the test will be wiped. However, if you do spend cash during the second closed beta test, the game will return 110% of your spending for the open beta test. Next up, on January 8th, Chrono Online, an Oriental fantasy MMORPG, revealed a new character class, the Oriental Assassin. Unlike other assassins you might find in other MMOs, the Oriental Assassin apparently is a unique long-range class that attacks from a distance with stealth and throwing knives. This assassin enters the game more as a subclass to the Archer. After the Archer equips throwing knives, they reveal the secret identity of the Oriental Assassin. Except the throwing knives, there is no other requirement for the transformation, and you'll still be able to use your old gear. Also on January 8th, Korean game publisher Joymax announced the upcoming launch of Ignite Silkroad Part 3, Undead's Revenge. This new update will introduce one of the most challenging bosses yet, requiring a full raid from players at maximum level. This super boss, known as Deathbone, will claw at players too close to it and launch a near-death attack for players who fail to dodge the following attacks. Killing Deathbone will grant players high EXP gains and 13th tier equipment, and more. Starting on January 15th, this dungeon will be open to all players above level 80. The raid boss is supposedly challenging enough that players will be rewarded nice items just for participating. Next up, on January 9th, Hi-Rez Studios has announced the launch of its latest patch for Smite, of course introducing a new hero, this time Hercules, the champion of Rome. Hercules is a tanky melee champion whose passive gains him a persistent increase in physical power based on a percentage of his missing health from damage taken. But other than adding Hercules, several major changes have been made to the game, such as the removal of the stats system. For a short time there, players were able to purchase stats directly from the item store. According to their patch notes, a future release may introduce an alternative method to allow players to further customize their build beyond just the items you can purchase in the item store. Along with this update, all players now have access to Match of the Day, which sets up matches based on specific parameters like all Cupid versus Cupid on Arena Map. It's a fun new feature that's offered, and now all players have access to it whether or not you own the gods. Also on January 9th, Korean publisher Webzen announced there will be a consolidation of 2 of its servers for its medieval MMORPG Archlord. On January 30th, the Gracia and Zion servers will be combined based on constant feedback from the players, and according to the head of publishing, expect to see some massive siege warfare coming from the merger. Next up, Gravity Interactive has announced plans for its first Requiem Online update of 2013. In this update, players will be introduced to a new raid instance, a raised level cap to 90, and new skill points for all classes. During the update, players will also find new character accessory sets and raid items. This update is set to launch on January 15th. Not a very big update, but an update nonetheless. Also on the 9th, Perfect World Entertainment released details about a new class coming to the latest fantasy MMORPG Neverwinter, the Great Weapon Fighter. Featured in the video in the background, Great Weapon Fighters are able to perform different roles within a party due to their versatile combat ability and tank-oriented or DPS-centric abilities. This new class carries abilities to clear crowds with AoE, slow down enemies, deal damage, as well as absorb a decent amount of incoming damage. More interesting, nearly expected news recently as Inmass Entertainment, the North American publisher for Tera Online, announced that starting in February, Tera will be going free to play with no content, experience, or time restrictions. New players will have a standard level account, however past and current subscribers will be considered a permanent founder and have exclusive privileges such as 8 character slots, 4 bank tabs, an exclusive mount, and a founder's title. And of course, any new player who wishes to receive these features can opt to pay via the existing subscription fee, in which they can receive these exclusives month to month. Along with the announcement of what is now being called Terra Rising, Inmass will be launching a ton of new in-game content, including a wave-based dungeon and a new PvP battleground. Definitely something to look forward to coming in February. The last bit of news has to do with Sword 2, and the news is that North American publisher Red Banner announced that they've now republished Sword 2 under a new name, Granado Espada. And as you probably know, when another company takes over a game, you can probably expect tons of changes to the game, as they've already begun adding content. Players who are switching from their Sword 2 account will be able to continue their existing characters, as well as benefit from some nice welcoming gifts from the game's new publishers. Anyway guys, that's it for MMO news. As far as games to look forward to soon, Wizardry Online is officially launching on January 16th, and in doing so, SOE will begin shutting down the open beta servers on the 14th. Not too long of a wait, but definitely worth waiting for. The developers also haven't really mentioned anything about what changes may be made right before launch, but for now, the open beta test was set up to clear out all of the bugs. Anyway guys, that's it for MMO news and announcements ending the week of January 13th, 2013. If you want to read about or learn more about any of the news mentioned in this video, simply head over to MMOHut.com/news. And to discuss the news during this video, head over to MMOHut.com/forums. That's going to be it for me. I'm James Blonde. See you out there, gamers.